everybody, welcome to the channel. I had a buddy that wanted me to do a review of his new 1911 that he just bought. He thinks it's a lot of gun for the money, and just looking this 1911 over, I have to agree with him. Now, I don't have any 45s, so I went out and bought some 45s to do this video with, and I really think just looking this gun over, if you're looking for a 1911 for the money, this one's going to be hard to be beat. It is a Magnum Research Desert Eagle 1911G. Now, I know Magnum Research is known more for like their Desert Eagle 50 cal handguns, but if you're looking for a 1911, go check one of these out. I'm going to go over some of the features on this that make me think that he's right about this being a lot of gun for the money, and then I'll tell you how much it cost. Then we're going to shoot it and tell you what I think about it. So first and foremost, one of the things that really stick out is the front strap checkering. A lot of guns don't do that. That costs extra money to do, and if you find like guns that do that, like Kempers and stuff like that, a lot of times those guns will be $11, $12, $13, $1,400. When you get to sub 1,000 gun mark range, a lot of companies don't do the extra work to put that stippling right there on the front strap. Now, it also has stippling on the back strap, which most companies do that. But what is different about this back strap, it is metal. A lot of guns will put a plastic mainspring housing back strap on these firearms, and I hate that. I hate that. I don't know why I don't like that. It just makes it feel like you just bought a $1,000 gun that's cheap because they put a back strap that's plastic. I know Colt does that. Colt, those guns are expensive, and they stick a plastic main, or some of the ones I bought have plastic mainspring housings in there. You get a nice upswept beaver tail with like a memory hump, so you know where it's in your hand, and it helps depress that grip safety. You also get a skeletonized trigger. You get 3-dot sights. Now, these aren't night sights. I'm sure you can get night sights for this, but these aren't night sights. But for 3-dot sights, those stand out really well. They really pop. Now, one thing I do like about this, let me walk around this side of the camera, is it has a single safety. I know some people like ambidextrous safeties. I do not like that. And I'll tell you why I don't like that. I used to carry 1911s. I used to be a 1911 fanboy. I had like 12, and like 10 of them were custom. And some of them had ambi safeties. I've sat down before and heard a click and thought, what was that? And like the chair I was sitting in had like rails on it. It would hit the safety and knock the safety off. So now I'm carrying a single action automatic with like a 4-pound light trigger in it. And I know it still has the grip safety, but it makes you a little uneasy when you hear that click and knowing your safety fell off or depressed. So that's why I like single-sided safeties. That's just my opinion. I do like the fact that my thumb can ride on that, and I don't have to worry about, you know, like the Glock 43 was, the slide not locking back. I just kind of rest my thumb on that safety like so, and it just kind of gives me a place to rest my thumb. That is one thing that I do love about 1911s. Another thing is you get front strap checkering. I love that. I do, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't press check your guns. Well, I press check them. It's a habit I got into. It doesn't hurt anything, but I like having the front checkering just so that I can do those press checks, and that's my preferred method, just like I showed you right there. Now listen to this safety. You know it's on. It has a pretty strong detent, but not strong enough you can't click it off, but you can tell that it's a pretty strong detent. It has nice checkering right here on the slide stop lever, and it does stick out just a little bit further than some of them so that you can actually get a good grip on that to if you choose to drop the slide in that manner. Now, I never do that. I always just do it like this right here to drop the slide, but that's just me. Some people don't. Your trigger is adjustable. You can take creep up out of it, and it is a 3-hole trigger, and it does have like a nice bead blast finish, two-tone look. I do like the two-tone look. I think that looks good. And I do want to say that it does have a one-piece guide rod. Now, the one-piece guide rod is a hit or miss for me. It doesn't really matter to me either way. A lot of times I take these out only because to disassemble one with a one-piece guide rod is a lot more difficult to do without a tool. it's just harder to do because you can see here, there's just not much to depress. So a lot of times I take the one-piece guide rod out of my 1911s and put just the standard plug in with the short rod and the spring in the middle. Now, this does add some weight on the end. Not saying these guns need any weight. They're probably 40 some ounces like it is, but it does add a little weight to help with the recoil, but your 45 doesn't have a lot of recoil anyway. The only 1911 that I own at this time is an STI, and it's a 9mm. It has 0 recoil. It is one of my favorite firearms I own, and that's probably the only 1911 that I would never get rid of, and I have not ever gotten rid of it. Now, he does have a set of grips on here that does not come on this firearm, and I want to show these to you. On this side, it has like a little cross. I don't know if this is coming in. It is. He bought these grips. I don't know where he bought them. Let me walk around the other side of the camera so that I don't flag myself. And then on this side, he has Revelations 1911 on this side of the grip. Now, these are not the grip that comes with this gun. I started to put the other grips on them just to show you. I'll probably add them in a picture at the end so you can see the factory grips. They're like a gray micarta. They're really rough. He didn't like how rough they were against his hands, so he found these and put these on it. I do like these grips. They are a little slick. I would prefer a little bit more tacky grip. I would probably have preferred the grip that came on the original, but if you're going to carry it, I could see how those grips would be rough on your side. So I understand why he took them off. But for shooting the gun, I think that the other grips would probably be a little bit better for just to be able to control the recoil. I can see where these would get a little slick, especially if you was in a bad situation and you got some blood on your hand and something like that. These could become very slick very quickly. Now, it does not have much of a extended mag release, but 1911s, that's not a big issue to me. I'm not going to break this gun down. Most of y'all know how 1911s break down anyway. Actually, when you're breaking this gun down, there's a ton of parts to a 1911. Back when I had those, I was all time changing parts and customizing stuff and stuff like that. And there's just a lot of parts to a 1911. But there's no need to break this down because this gun has literally only had 2 magazines through it. And he liked it so much that he wanted me to review it. Now, this gun is made in Israel. And that's where they make the IWI Tavors and stuff like that. And I really love my Tavor, and Israel makes some good guns. So enough talking about it. Let's get to shooting it. Now, I'm just using like some aluminum cased ammo. I just bought some cheap ammo from Walmart. So let's hope this stuff runs. But this is going to be a test of just how good the gun runs, I guess. Eyes and ears. Almost forgot eyes. First shots for me out of the Desert Eagle 1911G. I want to tell y'all something. That is a stock trigger, and it is light. Oh my gosh, is that light. I want to say the second round I fired, I accidentally fired it. That's how light that trigger is. For a carry gun, I would really have to get used to this trigger and practice with it a lot, or I would make it probably just a little bit heavier for me. Now, that's just for me. That's just my opinion, and that's not everybody else's opinion. I'm gonna put another magazine through it because that was pretty fun with that light trigger. Light triggers are fun to shoot. I don't suggest carrying a real light trigger, but man, they are fun to shoot. So let's put another 8 rounds through it. Getting some pretty good accuracy too. Now, I do want to say, I was right about the grips. The grips are a little slick. Now, the checkering on the front and rear really help with that, but on my support hand here, where I'm not getting a hold of any of the checkering, it does want to slide a little bit. I noticed myself having to readjust my grip, but like I said, these grips do not come on this gun. If you use the factory grips on it, you probably won't have that problem because they're really aggressive. Like I said, I'll add a picture of them at the end. So what we're going to do now, just like normal, is we're going to put 8 rounds through it because that's all the magazine holds, and do some fast shooting and see how the recoil is. Now that will be skewed a little bit by the fact that the grips are a little slick. There again, I do believe that if the grips had the factory grips on it, which I did, like I said, think about putting those on there, I think it would be a little bit easier to control, but we're going to see just how much snap it's got. It's got a little jump to it, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, I hate to keep harping on the grip, but it's a little bit snappy with those grips on it. I did notice there's a little bit of a sharp point right here on this beaver tail that's getting into my hands just a little bit, and that could be because I've not shot 1911s a lot lately, but I do feel like there's just a little bit of a sharp edge right there on the edge of it. But that's not here nor there. That should not discourage you from buying the gun at all, because I'm sure I would get used to that if I shot the gun enough, but those are just the first 3 magazines I put through it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to move you up to the target, and we're going to check the accuracy of this gun. So far it looks like it's got pretty good accuracy. I guess we'll find out here in a second. Okay, we're up here, got a new target set up, got the Desert Eagle 1911G, and we got 8 rounds in a magazine. So we're going to step back about 10 yards or so and just see what kind of accuracy we can get out of this 5-inch 1911. Stay tuned, because I'm going to tell you the price of it, and I think you'll be surprised. Let's turn this camera around, see what kind of accuracy we can get. Okay, I rushed that last shot just a little bit. I had an awesome group going, and I rushed that last shot just a little bit. It's still all tied together. I had this one big hole going, and I got a little bit cocky and decided to fly one. But there again, that's an awesome group at about 10 yards. I have an awesome gun. Now, I've showed you all the features of this gun and everything you get with it and everything like that. What's the price point? So if you buy a Kimber with these kind of options on it, you're probably looking at about $1,200 a lot of times, because that's what a lot of Kimbers run. Colts don't even usually checker their front straps for the most part. This gun, you can find it at your dealer for around $700. $700 for a 1911 with all these features on it. And it's all bead blasted. A lot of Colts, the top of it and some of the frame and stuff will have like some kind of textured finish on it. And my master gunsmith that I used to use a lot, he told me that was to hide defects in the milling and stuff like that. I don't know if that's true, but I always had to have my Colts bead blasted. This one comes that way. There is a ton of features in this firearm for almost half the price that you'd pay for a Kimber. Within a couple $100 of half the price of what you pay for a Kimber. And some Kimbers are probably more than this with these options on it. And the accuracy is there. Now, I did fly that last shot. That's my fault. I got a little cocky and got a little quick on that last trigger. Like I said, this trigger actually surprised me a little bit on that last shot too, because it is extremely light. Now, that can be fixed and remedied and stuff like that. That's just how my buddy likes it. But this is one heck of a 1911 for the money. I don't have any 45s now and really don't look at buying any, but man, this one really makes me think about wanting one. If you like this video and you like a good 1911, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.